Chris Collins and HenricK, the Wreck bring the chaos. Gaming news and industry talk, they got it all. Rage quitting, head banging, it's a metal bro. Mental meltdown, gaming in flames. Chris and HenricK bringing the thunderous rage. Video games and viral content, barricades, ripping through pixels, the ultimate game to get away. The ultimate. Dream over, I'm feeling the rage. Chris Collins and HenricK on the stage, talking gaming news. Industry that can't escape, reviewing video games. No need to debate. They bring the heat, spitting truth non-stop with fiery words. They're ready to drop, making waves in the world of video games. Collins and HenricK, they don't play no games. From console wars to DLC scales, they expose it all, making sure no one jails. The audience fired up, ready to explode. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. You know it's a code. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. Rage quits. Rage quits. I'm losing my mind. Chris and HenricK, they're fucking gaming all the time. Rage quits. Rage quits. It's a love-hate affair, but I keep coming back in your feels to compare. Rage quit. It's a love-hate affair.
What's raging, gamers? Welcome to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, HenricK the Wreck?
I'm doing great, Chris. You know me. It's Wednesday. It's time to rage.
That's right, and we can't thank you, the gamers, for always tuning in live, whether it is Meta, YouTube, or Twitch. And like HenricK the Wreck said, live every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And we can't thank you, gamers, because without your support, this show would not be possible. And we just want to go ahead and shout out our QR codes for anybody that hasn't hit the subscribe button yet. I mean, YouTube is the best destination to find all of our content. So go ahead and hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show.
Yes, just like Chris said, YouTube is, in fact, the best place to find our content. And this is my QR code that goes to my YouTube channel. Just go over there, subscribe, leave some comments. I'm looking out for them, all right?
That's right. We always love diving into it. But we got a whole lot to break in. So let's get it, because we always like to start the show with the bang and show you guys a lot of viral content that is circulating all across the World Wide Web. So let's get it. Overwatch is quietly dropping the two like it's trying to sneak back into the party, wearing the same outfit, now promising a new story-driven era and tossing 10 new heroes onto the roster like a confetti cannon with lore attached. And so when you hear 10 heroes, HenricK, are you excited? Are you ready to dive right on in?
Hey, you know what? I might have to try this. Might have to come back to Overwatch.
Yeah, for real, right? But Season 1 already tripped alarms after a new damage hero, Onran, showed up looking less like her fierce concept art and more like a character creator hit randomized. And that sparked backlash from players and her own English voice actor. And when a game sells you bold artwork but delivers a different final product, does that crack your trust in the character before you even hit the spawn room? Well, let's go ahead and check out the viral clip, and then we'll go ahead and check on the temperature online.
I'm nervous about this video because I didn't want to not address the elephant in the room, but I didn't want to step on the devs' toes or speak on their behalf, because it's this tightrope in my mind of trying to honor the community and everyone's criticisms, because I agree, and also give grace to the developers because they're always trying their best in the situation they're in. I wanted you to hear that this concern is important. This is a hill worth dying on. It's worth speaking on, because I believe that the more we speak up about the things that truly matter to us, the more we'll see ourselves reflected in the world around us.
Yeah, and I guess that's really the question, right? Is that the hill worth dying on, HenricK?
Well, you know, when you look at this character's face and you compare it to about 5 other characters in the cast, they've got all the same face, just different hairstyles and different costumes. So
she wants to be
something
separate from the rest of the herd. Yeah, you know, fair enough. But it is kind of wild to see a voiceover artist, you know, come out against, you know, the developers who actually put her on this podium to be able to star as a new hero in their game. And so, yeah, I mean, they're going to need the backing from their voiceover artists, because they're going to be speaking on behalf of them at a lot of different, you know, Comic-Con events or TwitchCon, you name it. And so if they're not vibing with their own character, it's really kind of hard to speak good, especially when they're trying to do a reset on this whole thing that was once a sequel, but not a sequel. But now we have a Season 1, and oh gosh, where do we even begin? But the first comment reads, Blizzard, when they realized they just hired an online activist to voice their new character, and she's out there on a soapbox talking mad shit about their game instead of simply promoting her. With the follow-up comment from the English actor that reads, it's gonna be okay, kitten. I promise. And I was kind of cracking up because this guy is a cat daddy gamer. Quite the wordplay that she used.
Yeah.
And then, ew, please don't ask them to change it. Your voice is amazing, and I really like her as she is. If she changes, I'll lose my favorite character and the cute DPS I've been waiting or wanting since launch, with the sad face. And then with the follow-up comment from yours truly, and that is the English actress. And she wrote, I believe she can be cute while also being cunty. Sorry, Mom, not my words, her words. I know you don't like that word. I know you're watching. But I know if they change anything, she'll still be beautiful. Trust. Kind of an odd reply, I must add. Like, what does that mean, HenricK?
Oh, it just means she's going to be serving and being beautiful at the same time. That's what
I
she's
just thought
trying
that
to
was
say.
really... We can also be the C word while also being beautiful.
Yep.
Okay. And then we'll go into the last comment that reads, a stupid first-time voiceover artist just made a billion-dollar company kneel by whining online that her character was too feminine. Blizzard is the most spineless, pathetic company on earth. If they had any integrity whatsoever, they would exile this rogue activist, voice artist, and hire a newer one instead. I have zero interest in returning to Overwatch now. It's the same old mistakes, pandering to minority activists instead of actually players who think the character looks great. Yeah, they're going to just like shut down all of operations and be like, sorry guys, we really messed this thing up. I know you guys were all excited about the launch this week, but pandemonium, we can't do it.
shut it all down. Stop the press. Stop the press.
Yeah, I don't really think it's that serious, but I do think it's really incredible that there is a voiceover artist that really does love the character that she brought into the vocal booth and just wants to see that be portrayed, even from the original concept art. And I don't think that's much to ask, but what do you guys all vibe with? Did you like the newer artwork? Do you want to go back to the the little bit more rougher, grittier look that they were kind of giving you when they were trying to explore that new lore that they'll be introducing into Overwatch? Let us know what's good. But also, Nintendo just fired the starting pistol on Mario Kart World. That was a Switch 2 launch title that decided that, got to admit it, HenricK. I mean, they just felt like regular driving was just too boring. And they taught the race carts how to wall run. They got, what is it now? Rail grind. And, they got jet skis. And so, yeah, I mean, you can have the most massive, character base to select from, right? But they got these new tricks that look flashy enough to make Rainbow Road feel designed like it was a course for the X Games, because a viral video is now pumping the brakes and asking if the series is evolving or just swapping tires on the same chassis. And so, when
when the series has been around as long as it has been, I feel like it has to evolve in some respect, right?
But that's what begs the question. When a franchise adds bigger spectacle and movement, HenricK, does it feel like a genuine innovation or just a fresh coat of paint on a kart you've been driving for years, right? And so let's watch the clip and then see why gamers are spinning out online.
It's funny you say that they're spinning out online, because I'm pretty sure if majority of people try what's happening in this clip, they're going to be spinning out in the game. It's not easy.
When I was watching that clip like numerous times, even prepping for the show, I feel like how he views the screen is like this. You know what I mean? Like, he's got his whole neck
Admin, he's doing it sideways.
Out. Yeah, like now I just imagine every Nintendo gamer looks like that. Like how everybody slouches forward when they're playing their intense, first-person shooters. I'm just imagining every Nintendo gamer's looking like this when they're playing Mario Kart, because they just clearly see the track a lot different than I do, or at least how it used to be back in the day. You actually rode on the track, not whatever the hell that was. You couldn't get comments like this, HenricK. People will see this and say the game is bad. You don't need to play it like this. But I think that's the problem, though. You jump into these like online matches and then everybody's doing this and you're like, I miss having friends that used to sit on my couch, and we used to have 3 of us or 3 other lads, and we would all grind it out on the same screen. That's just not really as much of a reality anymore.
And then one of your friends learns how to do this, and then you're just looking at him like, really?
That would be like a friend coming over, HenricK, and knowing how to do a 360 scope on you while playing a one-on-one match in Call of Duty. I would be
style on you.
Livid. Yes, exactly. Be really funny if Nintendo said, nah, let's patch that. After promoting this as being the new way.
They really could.
You really think they would do that after people been for almost a year now?
They have patched less, Chris. They have patched less out of their games.
I know. Speak no more. And then the last comment reads, such a terrible game, just parkour at this point. Yeah, I mean, it's like what some people have been joking about the game when it first launched. They're like, holy cow, Mario Kart and Tony Hawk all together? Like, wow, this seems like a dream. And then once people got playing, they're like, yeah, I think I'm going to go back to Mario Kart 8. I don't think my skill is just not quite there with some of the young lads on the World Wide Web. But let's keep it rolling, because Jinxie is going viral for dumping Clash Royale like it's a high-stakes divorce where he spent $20,000 on the wedding ring only to realize that the bride was just 3 greedy goblins in a trench coat. And what do we mean by all of this? Well, Jinxie has been trying to bring this whole save the game energy with him as a man who is trying to, fix the sinking ship by screaming at the water, but then eventually realizing that the creator, Supercell, cares about player feedback about as much as a cat cares about a PowerPoint presentation. They're clearly focused on celebrating what the developers have brought forward with this game. But if we keep throwing our life savings at games that treat us like sentient ATMs, are we actually gamers or just high-functioning gamblers for a digital casino? And it clearly seems like someone's upset, but then again, he wants to say he's not upset. But then you, the players, the gamers, are you vibing with how Jinxie's feeling, where he should have got a little bit of credibility for the recent spike in Clash Royale? Let's go ahead and take a listen.
I don't care that they didn't bring up my name. I don't give a fuck. Where I draw the line in the sand is when they tried to take credit for the game's success. Read the lines. It's proof of what's possible when a talented team relentlessly focuses on making things better for players. What? None of the creators, none of the streamers, none of the YouTubers, none of the TikTokers, that's who's getting the credit. The team that murdered the game? Are you fucking stupid?
You know what?
Wow.
He's got a point though, because games like this, they are held up by the community, because at the end of the day, they are the people paying for things in the game. And if they were not, bye-bye game.
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough. Let's dive right into the comments, because I know his buddy Sketch had to speak on his behalf. And what he tweeted was, not touching Clash Royale again until Supercell acknowledges Jinxie's impact. Disgusting to act as if the developer changed a game that's been the same for years. I'm done letting you be humble. From Clash to Rocket League and Rainbow Six, you revived those games, the only creator to do so and include the community of those games, while also bringing in even more creators. You change lives and deserve recognition and compensation. Okay, this is all cast too. Numbers don't lie. The Jinxie effect is real. Pay that man. If they put like just one sentence, like you said, we thank the YouTubers, the TikTokers, and the content creators, do you still feel like he'd be satisfied? I still feel like he wouldn't be, HenricK. I mean, he clearly wants his name to be tied with Clash Royale. What, you want your own little character? You want your own little card? Is that what you need, buddy? Like, I don't. Yeah, you do.
Can buy.
Exactly, in game. But then it was also really wild to see that you got a lot more creators like, I don't know, I think I know of Mr. Beast. He's got a very big game that he likes to showcase on Amazon Prime called Beast Games. And he's saying, I only started playing again because of you, with Lacey, who also came forward and said, there is a serious problem with gaming companies not recognizing us creators when we are a pivotal piece in reviving the games. And then you also get AMP Agent tweeted, not gonna lie, dude, like I thought they gave you equity from how hard you were pushing it, to Los Polos tweeting, I spent $4K on that bum-ass game because of you. No, you didn't. You spent $4K because you love the game. Let's be real. You got to be a dumbass if you paid more than $20 for a quote-unquote bum-ass game. And then you get Stable Ronaldo that says, I started playing because of you. What a spin in the face. F them. And Courage tweeting, I only watched engaged with Clash Royale content because of you. It was honestly the most interested I've ever been with the game in its life cycle. But then again, it's like I saw a viral clip, HenricK, that was going trending with Stable Ronaldo, which is one of the people that felt like it was a spit in the face towards Jinxie that he didn't get his name recognized by them. Well, he's the same person that's making these viral clips talking about how the Lord of the Bungulators, the Burnt Peanut, has now making $25 million because of his success playing Arc Raiders. And so do the developers need to come out and say, hey, thank you, Burnt Peanut, for making $25 million off of our game that we continue to patch and keep delivering, newer updates in the future. You get what I'm saying, HenricK? Like, does
yeah,
that,
I get what you're saying. It's a mutually beneficial relationship that they have, where it's like, you get to play the game, make some content about it, and potentially make money of it, and we also get free advertising for the game.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if anything, they're only laughing at you now because that's how the saying goes. There's no such thing as bad publicity. You're only going to get more eyeballs now on Clash Royale because of your viral meltdown. But then again, we want to know from you, the gamers, do you feel like more developers need to shout out some of these content creators that are bringing back some of these, resurrections from the dead, so to speak? Mobile games that were like, what? Whoa, I didn't even know we're still playing. Let us know what's good. But we can't thank you, the gamers, for always tuning in live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. So go ahead, hit the QR code with your handy-dandy phone, or take a screenshot, scan it later on. Go ahead and subscribe. Love you guys. Always do. Join along for the comments.
And this QR code right here, that goes to my YouTube channel. So go ahead and give that one a scan also, because you won't want to miss what's going to show up on that channel.
Yeah, we're always starting to cook up now, so let's get the ball rolling. And HenricK the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Oh yeah. Come with us as we delve into a game where we're going to hide in the shadows, yet also not, in Nioh 3.
You ain't lying.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Nioh 3. Nioh 3 builds upon the core gameplay experience of the first two games. They've introduced a style shift system, which allows you to build two different styles of gameplay. The first is Samurai, a slower, methodical fighting style, and the second, Ninja, is a faster and more agile fighting style. You're expected to switch on the fly and experiment between the two styles, as the game encourages a blend of Souls-like and action RPG gameplay. Also, this one moves away from mission-based gameplay like 1 and 2, and instead you'll be able to explore interconnected maps in a semi-open world that they've developed for this entry. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
I know what you're going to say, Chris. Man, another game that I have to have in my library and treat it like a 9 to 5. Because this game is a 9 to 5 job. I know you're thinking that.
That's funny that you said that, because my initial reaction to Nioh 3 is, you know, a game means business when every fight feels like it's grading your reflexes with a red pen while your stamina bar files for early retirement. Yeah, that's how my thumbs are feeling right about now, because Nioh 3 wastes zero time reminding you that hesitation, HenricK, is just another word for loading screen incoming, because I kind of saw that quite a bit because my ass sucked in this game. But the battlefield feels like it's breathing down your neck before you even draw your blade. And did you get that same vibe from this?
Oh yeah, I mean, this is really just ARPG bliss at its finest. I mean, they've taken elements from the Souls-like games, they've taken elements from games that are less on the Souls-like aspect and more on like the just, let's just have fun and be flashy about it, like Devil May Cry, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, games like that, you know. And they've managed to blend them together in such a good way that you as the gamer have fun, but you also can get humbled by the wrong type of enemy if you approach them incorrectly, or a boss that all of a sudden is just destroying you over and over again until you get good. Basically.
Right, or even when your curiosity peaks and you start going off in a different direction, and all of a sudden, here's your battle. You're like, oh crap, here we go. Was it always like this back then in Japan? I have no idea, but I like to think that what it was. But like, yeah, I mean, Nioh 3 drops players into a dark, supernatural Japan where time itself is unraveling. I mean, it's tossing you across different eras to stop an ancient corruption spreading through history like it found a cheat code for chaos. I mean, it sets up really, really fast. And the journey blends that, like you said, like this very open world or open field exploration with this.
Yeah, they didn't call it open world. They said it's open field. Get it right, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's almost like as if everybody's borrowing off that same. I don't know if it's so much Liza P, because that felt like open world, but very linear, if that makes sense. But
yeah, I would say
this one,
Liza P is closer to like what Bloodborne did, where it's just like interconnected hallways. Well, not hallways, but like rooms and places. But yeah, this is more of like, here is an open area, and then you'll finish that up. You'll go to the next. You can always come back to it if you need to.
Yeah, and it's always letting you roam freely while also reminding you that something horrible is probably waiting behind, you know, the next village gate, for example. And so, like, HenricK, like, what stood out to you right away? Was it that, you know, time hopping feel, like the meaningful world building that you will see in this game, or just the excuse to just throw players into bigger war zones.
What actually stood out to me the most, and I'm curious on what your thoughts are about this mechanic as well, is the ability to shift between the samurai style and the ninja style, because it lets you think about what you want to do when you're approaching enemies. Like, oh, do I want to just go in with my big sword and, just kill a bunch of people that way? Or do I want to lay back a little bit, throw out some spells, maybe be a little bit more stealthy as the ninja? And I really enjoyed that. It also lets you, if you die, choose again. Hey, maybe this approach I took wasn't the best. Let's try the other style and see if it does any better against this fight. What did you think about that, though, Chris?
No, I think it's nice. I mean, I feel like the combat is where Neo 3 plants its flag and starts issuing challenges like a dojo instructor who smiles while handing you heavier weights. Right? I mean, the players will have to. It's not you will select one style and ride throughout the whole entire time. You will have to juggle between the samurai and the ninja combat styles, constantly guarding. You're going to be dodging. You're going to be countering, and then also the most important thing is like they're bringing back the whole mastering of the key pulse, right? To survive encounters that punish sloppy timing, because that is the way you regain your stamina. And
and there's also enemies that will throw out this like aura, you can call it. You can visually see it as like a circle and things like that you have to dispel by using that mechanic. And if you don't and you're just standing in it, you get no benefit. In fact, you're probably going to die because your stamina is drained while you're inside of that.
And you will learn that very, very quickly in the game. And also the progression system adds a serious depth with the crucibles powering, guardian spirits, weapon skill trees unlocking new techniques. And then you got these jitsu statues offering bonuses, and along with, hidden enemies like I was joking about earlier, that will have these hidden, rewarding skill upgrades, which that is really cool. And so, HenricK, do you think that the layered progression adds to like that satisfying mastery, or it is a trilogy after all? So does it risk overwhelming newer players trying to find their rhythm in the game?
Yeah, it definitely could overwhelm new players to the series. I definitely see that as a possibility, but this series already has been known to do things where it's just not really the most new player friendly, and you kind of just have to learn as you go and learn from your mistakes. This game, I actually in the series would say is one of the easier ones for people to get into compared to the previous entries, where especially Neo 2, man, some of those bosses, they are unforgiving.
They're a pain in the ass, dude. They're a freaking pain in the ass indeed.
So,
and I'm with you. I think that's actually
into the series.
I think
the good thing too is you don't need to actually have played the previous games to get into it.
That's true. That's actually that's a plus. I know people always get scared of the whole 3, and that's why Overwatch had to drop the 2 and go back to the original, or maybe not. No one could be able to justify what Blizzard's doing over there. But yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like it's definitely not going to hold your hand. Newer players will definitely struggle. It is a bit of a learning curve when it comes to that, progression system in a sense, but visually the game thrives, I truly believe, in their darker tone with that rain-soaked battlefields. They got the burning villages and those eerie red vegetation that makes the world feel like the nature itself is warning you to maybe you should just turn around. And like each time period delivers distinct environments too. I mean, you're going to see stuff from the frozen wastelands to lush but dangerous landscapes, all drenched in an atmosphere that sells that supernatural takeover beautifully, I would say, HenricK. And so did you feel like that shifting environments feel as though they enhanced the immersion for you, or just kind of served as a visual variety in a sense, just, between boss encounters?
No, it definitely enhances it. I would say when it comes to this genre, the ARPG genre, a lot of times people focus more on the gameplay when it comes down to it than the visuals and anything else that comes along with it. But, I mean, when you get good visuals to go along with some kick-ass gameplay, you can
Uh-huh.
easily get yourself immersed even more in what's going on and just feel even cooler as you're pulling off these moves against enemies, you know?
Right, and like and we got to mention this too because like I feel like the story wastes no time pretending everything is fine, and then all of a sudden the clouds start acting suspicious, and then cities burn, civilians are getting caught in this supernatural crossfire that escalates fast, and then but I feel like the problem is the cutscenes. I mean, they sprint
Hmm.
through major moments. I mean, they're making the narrative feel like it's speed reading its own script instead of like letting the player soak in the drama, and so did the faster pacing keep you more engaged, or are you leaving yourself like wanting more breathing room in a sense for the story to be a bit more flushed out?
Yeah, it's definitely fast in telling you some exposition, and it's almost like they expect you to not get everything the first time around you're listening to things because
Mm-hmm.
of how fast they're going with delivering these like bombshell plot points on top of you. But I would say even if that is maybe the weakest point of this game, it's still not bad. It's not a bad
Yeah.
part of the game. It still keeps you engaged enough to realize, okay, I know why I'm here enough to have a reason to go and kill those guys over there.
Right.
And
And
that's more than enough than most Souls likes will actually get to in terms of delivering cutscenes to you in a cryptic way, because a lot of them do get very cryptic.
yeah, they probably spent more time on the character creation mode that you set up yourself in the first 5 minutes than they actually did with the story. Just have to say it like that.
Yeah.
It's just true. I mean, yeah, it's a fictionalized Japanese world, and they're trying to pick up on historical context and this and that. Would it be kind of cool to learn a little bit of something? I don't know. Just saying. But it doesn't kill off what Neo 3 has what's going. It doesn't just challenge your skills. It challenges your patience, endurance, and survival instincts in a way that rewards commitment and punishes hesitation. And so, for me, it keeps you coming back for more. And even if the
Hmm.
story sometimes plays catch up with the action, so be it. But I'm telling you, fam, you're going to want to play this game. And this is a repeat. What do you say, HenricK the Wreck?
Oh, this is an absolute repeat for me also, because I enjoyed Neo 1 and 2, regardless of how difficult or it can be sometimes, how much of a pain in the ass it is. It's a fun game. And I'm glad to see that 3 still has the difficulty, yet is even more fun than the previous, I would say.
Yeah.
So it's a repeat.
Money
Yes.
earned, well spent, right? And so tell us, gamers, are you sharpening your blades in Neo 3 or are you roaming elsewhere? Let us know what's good. But man, we got so much more here left on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show, so stick around, fam, and let's get it, HenricK the Wreck. You ready to rock and roll?
Oh, yeah. Let's get diving into the news.
Let's get it. What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host HenricK the Wreck and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. As the memory crunch tightens its grip and the hardware prices keep climbing like they found a jetpack, HP is testing the waters with a gaming laptop subscription that lets you lease the dream without ever getting the keys. And so, yeah, look at this, man. Wow. That really seems tempting. I can't wait to sever on this subscription, right, HenricK? Holy cow.
It's
$50,
so ridiculous,
130?
man.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you can swap for shinier gear each year and get that concierge level support and stack accessories on top of your monthly bill like bell services you never asked for, but you will never actually own the machine no matter how long you pay. And when gaming gear starts feeling like a long-term rental instead of something you actually own, is that smart flexibility or just putting your setup on a permanent lease? Holy cow! And so let's see what gamers are saying online with the following. And so the first one reads, HP has started doing laptop subscriptions. Instead of owning your laptops, you pay a monthly fee to rent one. We can't let this get normalized. We can't let owning a computer turn into a monthly subscription. Jeff Bezos, which, by the way, we covered this about a couple weeks ago, this viral clip. He also said he wants you to rent computing power from Amazon. That owning a home computer is insufficient and is going to go away soon. They can't endlessly profit off you if you make a one-time purchase. Is this the synopsis to Toy Story 5? We don't actually own the tablet. Is that what's going on? I don't.
You've leaked the script, Chris.
I know, it's exposing all of our flaws. It said, see, I can work for you, but you will never own me. Yeah, no, I think it's kind of wild. I mean, even when we were jumping on before we even aired, I was like, have they always done a subscription thing? Come to find out, HP, as of last year, rent out printers. Who would have thought that was actually a thing? And I actually have that note here. I got to just say it for all the people tuning on in, Henry, because this is just so insane. HP has a $6.99 a month where you can get a printer. It will be sent to your place. Good for 20 pages per month with auto-shipped ink and technical support. We all need that technical support, right? How do I put the USB
printer,
into the computer, right? Who would have thought, right? But if you wanted to have up to 700 pages a month, you need to pay $35.99. Sit on that.
Adds up. That really does add up.
Is freaking insane. And so, own no assets, do no job, live like stray animals, breed, eat, sleep, die, with the follow-up comment that reads like a redaction, something that our DOJ knows all too well with the following. Own no assets, do job, live like stray animals, die. Fix that for you, okay? So, pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty wild to think. And then you're going to see comments that read, buy a PC with subscription, pay cancellation fees for the same, just like Adobe. And yeah, I mean, this
let's
is
think
kind
about
of
it
the
here.
world we're going.
So you rent a gaming laptop, you pay for Game Pass, you pay for whatever other subscription services like Adobe. There's way too many, guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, during the whole Final Cut days, you pay one-time fee like DaVinci is trying to push like crazy. You only have to give us one flat fee, and it's all yours. Adobe, it's a yearly subscription. They always promise new updates, even though they tried to cancel Animate last week, and then enough public backlash made it so it's still available for a lot of animators out there and even video game creators that still utilize that tool. I mean, it would be such a crazy learning curve that to move on to something else. And then, HenricK, we're in the cut the cable era. It's still been going. I mean, we have streaming services, streaming wars. This is the reason why Netflix and Paramount are coming after each other, because they all want the monthly fee. And HP is clearly seeing, how do we make money if I only sell you a laptop and you never come back to us? We would like you to go through us, not Best Buy. Not us and not Target. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's kind of what they're thinking. And then you get this last comment that reads, born too late to afford a house, too early to explore the stars, just in time to finance a subscription to a laptop. Man, is it really all that doom and gloom, HenricK? Because, does this model help new gamers enter the PC space or lock them into this endless upgrade loop?
Well, I'm sure that it is a tantalizing little deal to look at the price of a subscription for a gaming laptop compared to buying it outright.
We might as well throw up that image back up again, because it's just crazy. We got to see this.
Exactly.
High-end gaming with no compromises, $130. But then their everyday gaming with great performance, $50 per month. I don't feel like these pricing is justifiable for what they want. I really don't. I mean,
and
it
part
needs
of that
to be
has to think about it also like this. When you have a gaming laptop and you've actually invested a good amount of money into it, we'll say like $1,500, $1,500 to $2,000 is probably like a good sweet spot for a good laptop. That's for gaming. That's going to last a while, maybe like 3-4 years at least before you really even want to think about upgrading it. If you're spending that much money per month, and then you're comparing it to that pricing, it starts to not make sense, especially when you consider, okay, well, after the 3-4 years when I want to upgrade, maybe I can sell my laptop and recoup some of this cost. Well, now it doesn't make any sense because you've just now made the subscription cost be more money than just buying it
That
outright at
just
the end of the
seems
day.
this just seems like crazy hefty in my opinion. It just seems totally out
Yeah.
of control. It's like, why would anybody do this when you can go and do like an Xbox console or get a PlayStation 5 and go get the PS Premium and go pay $160 for the year, and then you're gonna have like endless amount of catalog of games to play. But then it's like, what, you want to play the one new game and then you're gonna be paying $130 just so your FPS can link up with your shitty internet lag that you have in your little condominium that you have to borrow from everybody else in the same apartment complex. I mean, I just find it so insane. And it's like you said too, it becomes that point where even if you buy into the subscription and it reaches that MSRP rate, it's not like you get to buy it after you already paid full price for that laptop.
It's not like how leases with cars, where when the lease terms are up, they give you the offer. Do you want to just buy the car outright?
Yeah, just flat out, right?
Left?
That's not what they're doing, gamers.
They're not
and that's
doing
what's
that.
so crazy. And I feel like it's like part of me, HenricK, makes me think of some of my buddies out there, some of my gamers. And like we literally had this situation last week where one of my buddies heard about all the backlash with High Guard. He wanted to play, and I was like, dude, we reviewed it. We really didn't think it was all that bad. And yeah, it needs a little bit of minor tweaks here and there. They listened to us, apparently. They added a 5 versus 5 after the review process. But then all of a sudden, HenricK, what was so crazy is he goes to load up the game, and then he's like, oh, shoot. I have a Windows 10. I don't have a Windows 11. I can't even play the game, but I can play Fortnite and Arc Raiders. And it's almost like as if HP Laptops gaming subscription is banking on these people to be like, holy crap, I don't have the money right now to be able to pay $3,000 or $1,800 for a good sale on Amazon or wherever you're going to go to buy your devices. And they're banking on these people to be like, why not try us? Why not? Because when you're ready, maybe then you can invest. But we have something for you now. Is that, but then again, we want to know.
That is exactly the kind of situation they're hoping for, is someone's going to look at it and be like, that makes more sense than what I was thinking, which is going to buy a gaming computer outright.
But it seems like everybody wants to be a PC gamer nowadays. Everybody does.
Yeah.
And good thing they can rent out accessories too. And a $3.99 USB-C hub, and God knows how much they want for a mouse. But because you will your fingers are going to start to hurt when you start using that tracking pad. You're going to be like Sid Wilson, from Slipknot being a DJ, trying to game out on your Arc Raiders or whatever. But tell us, gamers, is HP solving a pricing problem or just repackaging it into monthly installments? Let us know what's good. But all right, HenricK the Wreck, gaming entering the cinema world is nothing new. But what's dividing gamers this time around? Break it down.
Well, Craig Mazin, the architect behind the Last of Us TV series, is rolling the dice again with what? Well, Baldur's Gate 3. So
I know, that's pretty wild.
Think about this, though. But instead of retelling the game, this series is jumping straight into the aftermath like it found the studio's save file and hit continue.
Yeah, because remember, Larian Studios didn't want to move forward with this. They
they said,
lost the passion
it's not
for
our,
Dungeons and
not our
Dragons.
IP. It's not our IP, so we don't want to do anything else with it.
I think that's fair, but now it's Craig Mason's turn.
Yeah, exactly. He's stepping in and taking up the reins, in a sense. But this means that new and returning characters cleaning up emotional... Yes, new characters are coming.
Wow.
And they'll be cleaning up emotional and magic collateral damage while fans nervously catch their dice. Because, that's what Dungeons & Dragons is all about. I think they're clutching their dice more than
anything. Maybe they need to bring a weighted dice in, I suppose.
And they're hoping Hollywood doesn't accidentally trigger a narrative trapdoor and do what Hollywood does typically, which is ruin things a lot of the time. So, when a show decides to expand a beloved game's story instead of retelling it, the question is, does that spark excitement, or does it set off an internal alarm in your head thinking, please no?
Yeah, stick to the lore, baby.
Yeah, let's see what the gamers have in terms of their skepticism, which is brewing online.
That's right, Henrik. And so let's dive right on in. Baldur's Gate 3 developers, Larian has no involvement with the show. Are they insane? The best adaptions all have the developers involved. Well, they did at one point for Craig Mason in season 1, and then they abandoned ship to go complete another game, the or whatever it's called, something the Prophet. I'm already blanking out right now. It feels like it's going to be eternity until we see that game anyways. It's like lost in space in their own void. But it's like, has anybody forgot about Chernobyl? Did anybody watch that? I know that's not really geared towards gamers, but that was a fantastic limited series by Greg Mason. I recommend everybody watch it because it's highly educational and it's a fantastic piece of art.
It is a very good show.
I am with the people that have a little bit of skepticism because The Last of Us season 2 is really kind of like, wow, I'm a dad, and and all these like other little cringy things that weren't necessary to have to bring into this TV series. Like, I don't know why he felt like he had to deviate away from the game script when it's all there. Compared
not
to
what people wanted to see, at least.
Right. But then all of a sudden you're getting reports that it's like Craig Mason is this dungeon master for the last 15 years. And so it sounds like we're going to be following along to his own board game, but it's actually now being showcased on a visual digital screen. And are you excited about that, HenricK? Do you feel like that's going to work for something like Baldur's Gate 3 that has all kinds of different endings? And where do they begin on?
Well, at least he's not trying to retell the story, I'll say, because that wouldn't make any sense.
Well, we wouldn't want him to.
Exactly, because how are you going to say
he clearly doesn't know how to do it?
This is the canon story of this game. You went into that goblin camp and you might have killed them, but we're not going to kill them this time. We're not going to tell that story. Well, that's not the story I want to hear. I want to hear what I did.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think that is like really, really tough thing to have to do. But then you also get comments that read, Mason used to be everyone's darling after Chernobyl and The Last of Us Season 1. How quickly popular opinion shifts. As for the show itself, I'm skeptical. Feels like something that suits at Hasbro, dreamed up, deciding to borrow beloved characters after failing to sell a pure D&D branded show. In my opinion, any sequel to Baldur's Gate 3 should be in game form, though I guess with this and the previous news about the Sanderson Cinematic Universe, we can put the idea of streamers giving up on high-budget fantasy to rest. But then again, it's like Dungeons & Dragons is slowly emerging. It's trying to be the next Star Trek, not quite Star Wars. It's trying to gather up the millennials and Gen Xers that are still smoking their stogies.
That that movie that they came out with a couple of years, I believe it was called Honor Among Thieves. That was a good movie. It didn't really do crazy numbers in the box office, but it was something pretty good actually. So hopefully they take some learning from that and decide to throw it into this, but we all know Hollywood cuts corners with this sort of thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then you're also going to get people that tweet stuff like this. I got to say, it's going to be incredibly difficult to please game fans with this one. I'll definitely watch it, but I'm planning for just a fun D&D show with dragons and magic and monsters and shit. So I think that's what people have to really kind of go into it with. I mean, a lot of people were skeptical about Amazon Prime taking on Fallout. And I felt like Season 2 was fantastic. And there are multiple endings to that game. And they were able to find a way where they can bring that lore that we all love, but then reimagine it to be something cool, something grand. But then again, I think the part that really makes gamers go, oh, HenricK, no, is when they hear after Baldur's Gate 3. If they heard only just Baldur's Gate, would they feel excited? I don't know.
I don't think that. I think actually it would be worse if they were saying, yeah, we're just going to be telling a story that happens within the game.
It's almost like they're setting it
don't
up.
Do that.
When they say reoccurring characters are coming back, I'm assuming a lot of fans are hoping that they bring back some of the beloved voiceover
some of the cast from the game,
artists
like,
that come in.
Shadowheart,
yeah,
the whole band. They definitely sound like they are going to be bringing that into the mix. But I'd be curious to see what they come up with.
But just because you're an artist in the booth doesn't necessarily mean you are an artist on the screen, acting-wise. You know what I mean?
True.
You could be as stiff as possible, and you're going, holy hell. I mean, you sounded great in the game. We salute your service. But Jason Momoa and Helldivers 2. We got you, buddy. Like you hear about that new report. They're like, we probably could have grabbed any of you guys, but we feel like we're going to need someone like this to be able to capitalize on this IP. And then last, you mean that Baldur's Gate IP heroically saved an entire franchise only to have its mind and body utterly devoured by an alien parasite of boundless malice? Lore accurate. Okay, so at least I got that right. At least we can all agree on that. So, Henrik, can a TV series truly capture the freedom and branching consequences that define Baldur's Gate? And I think what's really important is Craig Mazin the right storyteller to translate deep RPG player choice into a fixed narrative format?
I hope that it does well. Because it would be interesting to see them try and actually succeed with this. I do also hope, though, that Craig Mazin has learned from the mistakes of The Last of Us Season 2 and said, you know what, I think I'm going to take a step back from inputting too much into the direction that gamers don't want the story to be told. There is going to be a little more freedom in this sense compared to The Last of Us because of the fact that it's going to be a story that didn't happen inside the game. But when you bring new characters alongside the old characters, people are going to be judging those old characters who are from the game and comparing how you write them to how they're written in the game. So you better not mess it up, because then they're going to be coming with their pitchforks.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with like Baldur's Gate and all of its success, I mean, it is truly, truly massive about what they have accomplished. I mean, think about it. Over 15 million lifetime players. They have over 34 industry award wins and made history as the first game to win all 5 major Game of the Year awards. So, damn right, gamers want to have this story told perfectly, and it's going to be a tough task, a tough order, and it's either going to be a global success or it's going to burn in the ashes, and we'll all just forget about it and be so thankful that Divinity is up next for Larian Studios, and that game will get dusty in the attic on a board game.
It'll be a way for us to see whether it was Larian themselves that actually breathed new life into the series and brought their magic, and if they're gone, maybe. But
I also think too, like exciting. Even just to wrap up this one topic of conversation, HenricK, it's like, even with like the Fallout series, for example, they bounce around to different scenes all the time, right? And so you have to follow multiple storylines even within their own show. And some of the criticism from non-gamers was, wow, I feel like I was missing out so much lore, and my boyfriend or girlfriend is speaking in my ear going, hey, did you know what that is? You know what a stim pack is? You know what that thing is? You know the cold fusion? And I think if Baldur's Gate TV is going to be successful, they need to be able to invite everyone in. You can't go into the show and only be like, oh, I picked up on that and only a gamer will. I think that's what's going to be a failing moment for HBO. But then again, we want to know from you, the gamers. Tell us, how do you balance fan service with, fresh storytelling that stands on its own? Let us know what's good. But let's get the ball rolling, because French President Emmanuel Macron is back at it again. He is keeping video games on the national dinner table, praising the blockbuster success of Claire Obscure Expedition 33, while also side-eyeing controllers like they might come with the warning labels if the science stacks up. And so what does that mean? Well, he had to go on Twitter and LinkedIn. I didn't even know people do that, like LinkedIn, and write a whole
every world leader does, going on Twitter nowadays.
I know, and then posts this meme of, San Andreas, like, here we go again. But it is this very fascinating tightrope walk. I mean, you're applauding a homegrown gaming masterpiece with one hand, and then the other hand, you're hovering over these parental control settings for an entire country, which is just insane. And so when world leaders celebrate games as cultural art, but then also float restrictions over their health impact, does that feel like a responsible oversight, or someone about to unplug the console mid-save? And so that's where gamers all around the world were reacting online to the following. So let's go ahead and dive right on in with the first one that reads, thought we moved on from this kind of thing in the mid-2000s. Clearly, we have not. And I think, especially with Emmanuel Macron, he's basically saying like, hey, we don't have enough scientific data to be able to prove whether this is actually having an impact on young people.
Oh, brother.
I see you
this
shaking
guy
your head.
Stinks.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, if you get comments that read the scientific research part is the red flag. Governments usually only fund those studies when they are looking for data to justify strict regulations later down the line, right? I mean,
That's
yeah,
a good
I feel
point.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's definitely a real thing. But then again, don't you think it's a really odd time where you're celebrating, such a massive milestone for such a small, studio, Sandfall, with their success of Expedition 33, and then all of a sudden to turn right back around and then talk about Fortnite in a French press and be like, hey, we really should explore, these Disney characters, coming along with the violence, and if it, I don't know if I want my kids to see this.
Just to drive home how much they've been praised in France recently, they were knighted. Okay, the devs of this game were knighted in France for their contributions to French art. That means that the French government definitely does care about what they've done and think that what they've done is actually really cool. And then they go and do this.
Yeah, but then it's also, you get comments that read, soon we'll have to scan our driver's license just to play Mario Kart. And we're already there, fam. I mean, we have already seen the news with what Discord is going through. They're basically having this new position where they're like,
change.
yeah, they're like, we're going to be teen-only service if you don't want to verify your identification with our platform. And so they're following along with, Australia, for example, about, young adolescents being even a part of any kind of social media platform. And, I've always had this kind of stance. I've said it numerous times on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. I feel like at this point in time, especially with now these whole sandbox interactives, any game moving forward that has chat feature, not violence in the game. There's going to be all kinds of violence. Football, for example, okay? It's a violent sport, all right? But it doesn't mean to be labeled M for mature, right? Any chat feature needs to be labeled under like 16 and up or something like that, or 15 and up. Because the minute you add a chat feature, I think a lot of gamers would express that nobody wants to hear some squinty, high-pitched kid on the other end playing Call of Duty or Arc Raiders with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm right there. I understand that. I don't want to talk to some kid online. I really don't.
I don't. You know what I mean? But then again,
I don't want that in my lobby.
What we clown about Steam all the time. You ever notice when you guys go on Steam from your computers and you're like, hey, let's go check out Neo 3 and check out the trailer. It's always on year 1977. So these parameters always never seem to work. And so it's going to be funny whether, even the identification process is even going to work, because we've already explored it last season with Gary mods. Where people were out, remember with the Roblox.
Their identification by showing Death Stranding 2's photo mode or Gary's mod characters and getting by.
But you know what's also really wild too, HenricK? I was just doing my taxes this year, and just to be able to log into the IRS page, they want you to use your phone now to be able to scan your face.
I haven't done that
with your driver's license. Yeah, gamers, if you don't know that, that's what they're doing right now. And it wasn't working for me for the whole time. I had to keep taking off my glasses. Just to be able to let it register. But this is where we're at. I mean, everybody wants to sound the alarm over where Australia is doing or what the French president's thinking. We're already doing that right now in America. And that's why I think a lot more major companies and studios are going to be exploring this kind of tech. And then you also get this last comment that reads, it's starting to turn into an obsessive mania with under 15s. The guy was dating 15 and dating his 39-year-old teacher, and now he's trying to give lessons to young people. Go take care of your old lady instead. Come on, Shu. And yeah, it is pretty funny. It is funny. That's an easy stab towards Macaron, because if anybody doesn't know, I mean, you guys are gamers. You're more into the lore of video games, not so much the political aspect. But, HenricK, he is dating his old drama teacher. And you know what's even crazier, too? He was classmates with her daughter. Just
Oof.
something to throw out there, okay? So, it's easy to clown that guy. So, HenricK, when the French
Yeah.
president celebrates game development yet hints at limiting playtime, does that feel like responsible oversight or someone trying to pause your controller mid-match?
Yeah, it's one of those things, like the comments were saying. I feel like we've brought this up so many times in our lifetime, and it's almost never gone anywhere. Or if it's gone somewhere, it's then been shot down as like, dude, you're like, really? You
Yeah.
sound like an idiot now.
Well, when
And
it's
you know
funny
what, this
'cause-
guy, he does sound a little stupid saying this, because it's like you're praising this culture that's coming out of your country in the form of video games, and then you're now saying, yeah, by the way, we want to limit what you can do in video games. And it's like,
Well,
come
when
on,
you
dude.
said comment, I thought you were going to say communist China. I was like, oh, is that where we're going? You know what I mean? Like, where we're going to limit the play time of some of these young adolescents, and then who knows whether that would even creep into even your adult life, right? Because everybody wants to
Yeah.
nitpick how much screen time you have for your television shows, how much screen time you have for your movies, and now it leaks into, the video games and etc. And yeah, I think it's really, really wild to think, because especially since as of we haven't found any correlation between the digital and real world violence as of yet. And I guess, whether you, the gamer, feels like that is something that needs to be explored, let us know. But let's have this be the pondering question to leave off on this segment. When world leaders celebrate the art but question the medium, does that feel like concern for health, or someone who still thinks the pause button works in real life? Think about it. Let us know what's good. But all right, HenricK the Wreck, there's a rally of gamers on Reddit who want the best for gaming, so break it down.
Yep, Reddit has officially opened the digital floodgates, calling on gamers everywhere to share the mechanics that felt so smart they should have been copy-pasted across the entire industry by now.
Well, that's what generative AI is for, I guess. Oh,
Well, yeah,
fired.
yeah. In some respect, that is the argument that people are making. You're right there.
Right.
And, we're talking about those rare gameplay ideas that make you wonder if other studios lost the instruction manual on how to drive to innovation because they're so cool.
Right.
So what's the one mechanic that made you stop mid-session and think every game should be taking notes?
I like this. Let's dive right on in, because the first one is, I like Final Fantasy 16 system where you could pause the cutscene to get a lore, a plot update, and a reminder of what is happening. That is
That is
was
really
pretty cool.
Yeah, that is also great for very long games, because maybe some people, they step away from the game for a little bit and they come back and like, wait, what happened?
Or yeah, especially when you're playing like a long game like that, sometimes you do want to revisit a cutscene, maybe. You know what I mean? And why not just add an extra menu tab where you can go and find the video that you're looking for and be like, oh, that's what I was looking for. That's what I needed. But then again, it's like we don't get rewinds and cutscenes either, and maybe it's important for them that you don't do that because it was designed for you not to rewind. So I somewhat get it. And then you also get comments that read, hidden treasure behind at least one waterfall in the game. Yeah, my first reaction was Assassin's Creed Shadows too. They brought that into the game. Indiana Jones didn't really do that, but remember they had like a little. They did, like in the opening.
You are leaving out a classic here. Okay?
Why am I blinking out right
Legend of Zelda has done this so many times.
Yeah, that's true.
To the point where since I grew up with Legend of Zelda games that did that, every time I go
but we're
into a
now
game
all
that has
naming a
waterfall,
bunch
I
of
check.
these. Now we're naming a whole bunch. So I guess this defeats the whole premise of what the whole Reddit debate was, right? What's a mechanic that you've seen that nobody else is doing and should do this? And we were already naming a bunch of games doing this, right?
Well, not every game does do it, but it's almost to the
Shame.
point where if a waterfall is in a game, you need to have something behind it.
You know what? His name is Chicken27. What did they do in Zelda? They kicked the chicken. Shame.
That's true, yeah.
We're kicking the chicken out of that Reddit debate. And then also you get a tweet that reads, can't remember which game did this, but rewinding cutscenes should be mandatory. That's funny. I just said that. And then,
just
you
mentioned
get
it, yeah.
Octopath Traveler 0 has a menu where you can replay any conversation cutscenes previously played throughout the whole game. Yeah,
And
that was the
is
game I
also
couldn't think
good
of. No
because
one.
sometimes you forget what just was said, or
Yeah.
you maybe accidentally skipped someone in the conversation. Like, oh, wait, I need to hear what you said. You're gonna tell me where to go.
Yeah, and
Things like that.
I guess it's a really, really cool feature. I mean, we love it as as people that play the games, review the games, and etc. But then you also, some people want to cater to rewatching a cutscene. Maybe you missed up on a little point that you were like, "Holy God, what did he say there?" It's just a possibility. And then also you get games like this. In survival craft games, quick stack into storages and linked storages. Yeah, I think for the longest time, even like Arc Raiders, I feel like is the most recent example of gamers that just don't know how to utilize their inventory. I mean, there was even people that had no
Inventory
idea
management
that
is a real thing.
well, people didn't even realize you could turn your free loadout into a green loadout for free, essentially. But yeah, make it easy on us, all right? Don't make us individually have to click, each box. If I can literally just click one button to just repackage everything, we love you developers every single time for doing it. So yeah, pick up on that. And then you also get not so much a mechanic, but in-game encyclopedia documentation. It is somewhat annoying in some of the games that I've played where I am trying to either confirm details related to specific items or even trying to learn about the particular aspects of gear and having to rely on fandom wikis where a lot of the info is either out of date or straight up incorrect. I'm not
And there's a ton of ads on their website.
Fair enough, right? And what the gamer is expressing is, I'm not expecting civilization levels of one where it gives you the complete real-world history of every little detail like Assassin's Creed likes to do, right? But at least some form of database that has all the correct and relevant info. With the follow-up comment that reads, Ratchet & Clank 2 had a Monsterpedia for all the enemies in the game. Too bad no other Ratchet & Clank game did so. So it's kind of difficult to learn what mini enemies are called. And yeah, I mean, that's a throwback. That's PS2 era. I mean, going commando. Yeah, they ditched it and up your arsenal, right? Man, those games are such a classic. What a gem. I would like to see someone really nail a movie down for the kids. Come on. Someone make it happen, okay?
That could be really good.
I think that would be awesome. And then it pisses me off that it's not standard operating procedure to allow the user to customize the colors of team/enemy, rectiles, HUD elements, etc. I'm colorblind, and 9 times out of 10, if a game even bothers to include colorblind settings, they suck ass. And just let us customize how it works for you so we can see. Damn it. And I think that's a great point. I mean, that's always something that, it's, we're always celebrating accessibility features when it comes to, different controllers, but we also sometimes forget hearing or visuals, on screen to be able to bring even more of that immersion that we all love from the game. And I think that's an incredible example. I think that should be always on the top of the sheet for things to do for every developer moving forward. Always think about our colorblind community in the gamer space. But HenricK, you're gonna have to lead this charge. Which gameplay system made you realize that developers struck gold and then just walked away from the mine?
Well, I definitely have to go with the Nemesis system from Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, that's a great idea.
The unfortunate thing about it is it's got a patent on it until
locked.
2036. So no other company can legally do that same system until then. But it's a great system.
We need another PAL World studio to come out and just make a Nemesis system and say, try me in the court of law. Yeah.
And if you guys don't really know what it is, it's basically you'll go through the game, you'll kill some enemies, and then one of them will come back and be like, I remember you took my arm. Now you're gonna die. And then he's like much more powerful than he was last time. And that itself is just the Nemesis system. Like an enemy that is a bog standard enemy will turn into an arch rival of yours in a matter of maybe a couple hours.
Imagine if Neo 3 had that. Neo 3 would be even more epic.
That would be awesome.
It would actually yeah, I think it would be really bad. There's a lot of games you could think of. I mean, wouldn't it be hilarious if you're playing Grand Theft Auto Online and you keep punking the same old bitch ass, in the game, and then all of a sudden he keeps showing up on your curb or your stomping ground at one time. I mean, that would be freaking hilarious. I mean, man, you put a lot of great thought into this. I feel really lame for saying this. I'm thinking about my 4 eyes, and I'm like, more games don't have the features to up the subtitles. I like to read the subtitles playing the game.
Too.
And sometimes they're always so small, and they say large, and it's not large, okay? What do I need to ask for? Extra large?
What's even worse is when it's like an older game, but does have subtitles, but it's an older game that isn't meant for like the larger resolution sizes of like a 4K TV or a higher resolution monitor, and that it's like this tiny, and you can't adjust the size, and you're like, man, why?
I don't want to be squinting. Yeah, I don't want to be squinting. That's just a personal preference I'd like. So if large ain't in it, I want extra large. But then again, we want to ask you, the gamers, what's that one brilliant mechanic you stumbled into that felt so obvious you wondered if every other developer missed the memo while stuck in the loading screen? Let us know what's good. But man, this has been such a fantastic show of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show, and we can't thank you, the gamers, for always tuning in live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. And before everybody leaves, we want to go ahead and show you guys our QR code. This will send you directly to my YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show.
You see this glorious QR code right here? Well, that goes to my YouTube channel. So go ahead and give that a scan. Go over there, leave some comments, watch some videos, and stay tuned because more is on the way.
That's right. And man, have lots of fun this week. Stay indoors, play lots of video games, never touch grass, and maybe get an energy drink or drink that coffee to stay up all night. Yeah, we're going to break the rules this week.